Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Metal video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at how you can beat the first Majin Buu Saga Red Zone stage, no item. Now this stage is unique in some ways and a little bit different. So obviously it has 3 phases of multiple enemies. So in the first phase you have Yamu and Spopovich, second phase you have the mighty Pui Pui and Yakon. Third phase you have Dabura and Babidi, and the final phase you face a Buu and Babidi. Now there's a couple things to take note of. Yamu and Spopovich. Spopovich is stunnable. Yamu will lower your attack and defense. Pui Pui and Yakon. Yakon is stunnable. However, Yakon will also increase his attack and defense slowly over time. Pui Pui gives a 10% buff to his ally as well, so taking him out first is more than advisable. Babidi and Dabura kind of function the same, except Dabura can stun you on his super attack. Highly suggested that you get rid of him. Obviously Babidi as well also causes some problems because he also increases the strength of his ally. Aside from that, you also have the Buu and Babidi phase. Nothing too crazy, they just hit pretty hard. So in terms of team build, I went for a Majin Buu Saga team. I wanted to use the newer units because, well, just thought it'd be cool to use them to do a no item run. But I don't think this is a stage that particularly requires anything beyond that, if you know what I mean. It's more than perfectly fine, realistically, to use whatever team you want, as long as you have a couple tools that you need to take things out. So in terms of like dealing with the opposition, you could go for AoE super attacks, but it's not needed. AoE super attacks, although obviously would be great to hit both enemies at the same time, outside of a couple units like maybe AGL Super Buu and potentially Demon King Piccolo or Piccolo Jr. with his active, there's not a lot of AoE units that I would say are going to be tough enough to be able to handle the later stages as well as the earlier stages. The enemies do scale pretty well, and so being able to like decimate both of them with one AoE attack is pretty unlikely. In fact, I think Super Buu's like the only real unit that could potentially really pull off the AoE attack thing. Now in terms of focal point, the units themselves, like I mentioned before, have certain different abilities. I would start the first phase taking out Spopovich, or stunning Spopovich and taking out Yamu. In the second phase I would remove Pui Pui, then stun Yakon. In the third phase I would take out Babidi, then take out Dabura, and in the final phase it doesn't matter. Now in terms of team build, what you're going to want is you're going to want a tank on each rotation that either has very high damage reduction or guard. I know that's true for a lot of stages, but you are going to have to take potentially different types of attacks. So speaking like you may have to take multiple various typings of attack. In terms of like overall functionality, this team works pretty well because it has the double SS3 Goku. SS3 Goku, obviously very tanky, very tanky as a unit for the first couple turns. It's got that 90% damage reduction slowly scaling downwards, and then you have the guard mechanic as well, which kind of keeps him topped up, so that works very well. We also have Buu, so we have Int Buu being a very solid kind of tank slash healing slash revive unit. We're going to use his revive in the final stage, and then alongside him we have the physical LR Buuhan, a unit that I've recently done a review on and who is exceptional. Now we're not going to be able to give him big bad bosses, but it's not going to matter too much. He's still going to be absolutely awesome even without big bad bosses active. So it is something very impressive. Aside from that, honestly speaking, really solid, like, you know, functionality in general from the team. The Buus make a good pairing, lots of healing, really keep us topped up. Then Goku's going to pair up with the strength Vegeta and Goku Angel. That turns into Vegito. That's also going to be something super duper helpful because you're obviously going to get the heal, you're going to get the strength in terms of damage reduction, the damage, just the good performances overall, which are going to be really helpful. Then alongside that, we have some pretty good floaters. So one of the Gokus will be floating. We also have the Goku and Vegeta floating as well. They're just kind of here for a bit of damage during this Babidi phase, mainly for the Babidi should we not be able to finish him off. But also they are going to be a pretty solid defensive option with their active skill. A little bit of extra damage as well when we fire the active skill. And generally speaking, they'll be more than fine. They also fit the theme of the team, so I wanted to bring them along. Now, using the revive from Boo is a little bit harder than it seems, although obviously it kicks in when he's quite low on health. Before then, he's actually just pretty tanky in general and quite strong. So when it comes to Boo, I'm not too worried overall. You can see here he took a bit of damage. You do just need to be careful. Remember, his revive only applies to himself. So for example, if he took a lot of damage there, but then we're going to have the SS2 and SS3 Goku and Vegeta take a lot of damage or something, then obviously, yeah, we'll still fail. So just be a bit aware of where you place Boo in terms of rotation. You need him to die. So whatever the situation is, you need him to die. I know it doesn't sound so romantic, but he has to be the one that is KO'd. If you don't do it, then you are going to struggle. Just in general, like you will just have some issues. Of course, once you do get into revive, he's really, really strong, super duper powerful, much like World Tournament Goku, very similar in design with his revive and the way it works. So all of that really comes together nicely, and you start to have a really, really good time. So at that point, you're sitting really good. I would say you're probably sitting in a good space. If you can get all of this to kind of come together nicely, I think, it all works out quite well. The issue you may have is the timing on the Gokus. So it is a bit of a long run. It is, quite a long run. It's quite lengthy in terms of like turns. AGL Goku is going to start to slowly wear off in his tankiness a little bit because of the loss and damage reduction. So you do need to factor that in as well. But generally speaking, all in all, we do quite well. Once you do get to the point, if you can transform Vegito, get the strength Vegito, that's your best situation. Of course, you may not be in that situation, depending on when the revive goes through from Boo. It's not the end of the world because they can still tank really, really well, depending on how many stacks they've got. So it's not like you need them to be in Vegito form to tank or anything. They'll tank more than 5 in base. But it is, generally speaking, something to be aware of. Obviously, SS3 Goku you want to move into the second slot as well, so that SS3 Goku can also kind of just do his thing, realistically speaking. But yeah, honestly, overall, really, really, really solid, team performance. I think everything worked exactly as you wanted to. I don't think there was anything too crazy that you needed to do here. I think there's quite a few various teams that could do this as well. Earthbred Fighters, Superheroes, Fusion Warriors even. I think once your team gets going, once it gets past that first, I'd say initial 2 phases, I think you should be, with most high-end teams, in a good position to get the win. I just think you won't struggle. You won't struggle so much with that. But yeah, honestly speaking, besides that, all pretty good. I don't really have anything more to say. The team build here is going to work at this point, largely through just damage output and finally getting Boo down. We have very minimal risk points of dying once we get to this final phase. Ideally, we transform Vegito or Vegeta and Goku into Vegito, but if you don't, you don't. It's not the end of the world. It's ideal, but it's not necessary. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I think for me, at least, on my side of things, it's a good start to the red zone. It's nice, it's different. It's like the Lord Slug / Turles events a little bit, which is cool. It's also nice of a little bit longer one. There's not too many irritating mechanics early on, so you can kind of build up your characters a little bit, which is cool. Obviously, the damage does scale fairly nicely as well, so you know, you can fiddle around. You can have some longer term units here. You don't need to just have a quick and fast team. You can build it up a little bit. You do just need to get through that initial round, and then yeah, once your units start to kind of build, things are pretty good. I'd say once you get past Babidi and Deborah, 9 times out of 10 you're probably gonna get the win when you face Babidi and Boo. Not saying that they're super easy, but I think with the way teams build up and the way units build up, I think once you get to this part, you are probably good to go, and you're probably ready to get the win. So yeah, besides that, if you do have any questions or queries, you can obviously let me know. Let me know if you used a different team to not item it. It'd be really cool to see. But yeah, I think from my side, honestly, I just had a really good time running this stage. I think it was a lot of fun for me, and yeah, it's been cool to try and not item it. Depending on when I post this video, might have done the mission challenge, might not have, but I should then have 3 runs for the stage, or quite a few now, because this obviously has the inevitable will stages as well. So I think, yeah, you should have a pretty good idea on what you need, or various builds to at least beat the stage. Like, I think what they've shown now, this will be my 4th or even 5th build for this stage. So I think by now you should have a good idea on how to beat it. If you don't, then yeah, can't really help you. Well, I mean, I can still. Just give me a shout in the comments and I'll be there. But yeah, that's it from me. We'll get the W now and we'll call it a day. So let me know if you need any help. Let me know how you found the challenge, and I'll see you guys in the next one. But until then, as always, take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.